Hi there, it's got back from seeing Avengers Age of Ultron. Yep. It's being recorded early May 1st, so like after midnight. I went and saw a Thursday at 9 p.m. screening, so hopefully I can get this up. So that people going out to see it can watch the video. Or people who've just seen it can watch the video. You gotta be current with these things. I think I'm going to divide this into 3 sections. The review. It'll be 1 video, but 3 sections, I think. Maybe 2. I'm going to try to go for 3. That are basically spoiler gates. First section's going to be, like, 0 spoilers at all. I'm going to try and basically make something that's a quick blurb that people who have gone, like, dark, like, done media blackout on this movie, can like hear that and get like an impression without knowing anything. The second section is like late spoilers, like things that are in trailers and things, but for the most part, I won't be like spoiling the whole movie. And the third section is just spoilers. Abound, everything, totally. Unhinge the gate. Okay. Have my eyes here missed, so let's get started. So I guess this first section is probably gonna be short. How do I feel? It's good. I mean, it can't be bad, right? It couldn't be bad. I have mixed feelings. It's weird. You didn't think I was going to come and say about Avengers, especially Age of Ultron. It is a great film, but there's something about it that left me with a bad taste. It's bizarre. I'll talk about a lot of that, I'm sure. I'll be deconstructing my own thoughts and unpacking my own feelings about this. You will like this movie if you liked Avengers, and if you like the rest of the films. It's as simple as that. A lot of the good stuff is still good. The acting, the characters, still good. The effects, still good. The action's usually pretty good. I find it moves really fast in this movie. This movie moves really fast. You gotta pay attention. I think there's maybe a couple moments where I missed what even happened in an action scene. Where I was like, what? Like, very tiny moments. There aren't a lot of them. But if you're not paying attention, you'll lose track. I also think this movie loses the simplicity factor that the first Avengers had, which is a mixed bag. First Avengers ultimately has a very simple plot. It's deep in some of the themes and the nuance. There's actually a lot to dig into there. There's a lot of hidden stuff, but the setup is very simple, which was important. It was how average audiences were able to follow that movie and make it so popular and successful. Age of Ultron don't do that. Like, I'm just saying. It's not simple in any meaning of that word. Not that it's like the most complex movie. Obviously, it can't be. But it ain't simple. There's just, no two ways of looking at it. It's definitely more complex. I will be surprised if more casual viewers will latch onto it the way they did the first one. I think it'll lose them really quickly. Like, honestly, like, this movie starts fast, and it goes through stuff. Like, you need to keep up in this movie. It's actually not a short movie, but they packed a lot into it. Even still. It feels long, and it is long, but it feels fast. Just to keep up with that, it's going by quickly, but you have to pay attention quickly, because a lot of stuff happens. It feels a little jam-packed with action sometimes. Action, and it feels like exposition and plot will happen really fast. Like, too fast. There's a couple moments, I'll talk about them in the spoiler sections, that I still am like, 1 second. What are you talking about? Overall, it's hard to know what to say about this without talking about spoilers. I guess it's sort of the gist of it. Ranking with other Marvel movies, I like Winter Soldier better. I think I like Guardians of the Galaxy better. I can't tell. That's a rough one. That's a tough nugget right there. I think that I inherently like... Well, no. Comparing this to the first Avengers, which normally I place under Guardians, but it depends on how I'm feeling that day. I always place Winter Soldier at the top, and this is definitely not as good as Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier was a brilliant piece. Winter Soldier makes me happy that we're getting those directors to do Civil War and the next two Avengers, because I think they will help make those better. I want them to be better than Age of Ultron. Again, I'm not saying this movie is bad. I'm sounding like a shithead already bashing on this movie. It's good. It's just, it surprised me with the direction they took. Which it shouldn't have. Joss Whedon said it was going to be darker and edgier. Excuse me, it's the second movie. The second movie syndrome. Like, you get darker and edgier in the second part. That's just how that goes. It wasn't that it was darker and edgier, really. It's just sort of... It's not a fun, simple romp where it's like, okay, these are the bad guys, we gotta do to stop them. This was like, ooh, okay. It's more complicated. It's weird a couple times. I don't know how, that's the thing, I can't compare it to Avengers. They're not, Avengers 1, they're not comparable as films, actually. They're very different. I don't know. Let's stew on that for a second. I just don't think it's as... It's not simple enough that I can compare them in the way that, like... But I guess if as filmed in the way I'm doing with Winter Soldier, I think I'll have more fun rewatching Avengers, but I'm going to need a couple rewatches of Age of Ultron to decide that. So that's going to be on... That opinion's on hold. I wouldn't take that, universally. I would say it's pretty solidly not as good as Winter Soldier. That I'm sure of. I just like Winter Soldier more. I rewatched Winter Soldier earlier the day I watched Age of Ultron. Trust me. I know I like Winter Soldier more. I think we're going to get in minor spoiler territory now. So in that first section, that's sort of the capstone. Going into the second section, if you've seen the trailers, I'm probably not going to spoil anything big. I'm going to try not to. If I do, I'm sorry. But if any kind of spoiler warning at all makes you worry, then stop. And just hightail out of here, go see the movie, enjoy yourself. But from this point forward, light spoilers. Trailer spoilers. Let's say, yeah. An informed person should not have any problems starting, now and going forward until the third section. Alright. So, if you haven't already closed out, you lose. So, I was impressed by a couple things. God, where to start? Actually, that wasn't the way to start this section. I don't know where to start at all. I was surprised a lot of the time. I have a list. Open this list. Give me a second. I have a list of predictions I made. Most of them were wrong. That doesn't usually happen. It's very impressive, actually. Like, I'm just gonna go down them, like... I mean, I'm obviously not gonna say everything. But, like... Yeah. No. I basically was wrong. Just, like, entirely. I'm sorry about that. That was a big pause of me saying nothing. I'm really sorry. I'm bad at this. This might not go up. We'll see. I say that a lot. Let me see. The second section. I haven't said anything. I just need to break full spoilers. Give me I'm not sure. As far as the Ultron thing, I'm not I'm displeased with the origin of Ultron. Without spoiling everything, it's overly simple. You know, clearly in the trailers, Tony creates him. I just don't think it was done intelligently. They missed some serious... I'll get into some more specifics about that. I dislike that. That's one of my big sticking points with this movie, is that the creation of Ultron is rushed. And it's simple. It's weird. I don't like it. We could do a lot better, I think. They could have done a lot better, but I can tell they just needed to, like, get moving, because there's a lot in this movie. I was impressed by the cameos. I won't tell you what all they all were, but I will say they got a lot of them, which was cool. I think I just need to break into full spoilers. I don't think there's anything I can say that's... Yeah, I don't know. I think I just need to break into full spoilers. Alright, so... Yeah, because I'm out of things to talk about already. We're going to full spoilers. So, sorry about that. That wasn't really a section. So there's 2 sections to this video. That middle section, which I should edit out, but I don't have an editing software, so I can't. So from here on out, I'm just going to talk spoilers. Unzipped, unhinged. Me. Movie. If you haven't seen Age of Ultron and don't want the shit spoiled, turn it off. Go watch the movie. Have a grand time. Alright, let's talk about Ultron. I was positive they were going to make a reference to Hank Pym. If you don't know, Hank Pym is the original Ant-Man in the comics. And if you've seen the trailers for the latest Ant-Man stuff, the latest Ant-Man trailers for the Ant-Man movie that's coming out in it's either July or August, I forget which. I think it's July, actually. 2 months away? I think it's probably August. He's the old guy who gives the young dude the suit, the Ant-Man suit. And that, you can see it, they wear this, like, Pym Industries on a building at one point. So, he exists in the Marvel Universe, he's old. They're making the Ant-Man of the Marvel Universe the second Ant-Man of the comics. Which is fine. Hank Pym's a hard character to do right. But they didn't mention him at all in this movie. Not at all. A lot of people are going to be mad. I was the guy calming down people being like, guys, I know Tony Stark makes Ultron. They're going to fit it in. They're going to fit him in. Don't worry. They're smart. They didn't at all. And I guess they said, I know they said that. Other people were like, oh, they said there's no Hank Pym. I'm like, they're just saying that so that we don't spoil everything. No, there's no Hank Pym. He had nothing to do with Ultron in this movie. Ultron was created and destroyed. Hank Pym's never mentioned. I get that it's an adaptation. I'm not angry that you didn't do it the same way as the comics. But to be honest, I'm looking at this from perspective. Ultron is rushed. His creation comes out of nowhere. You get the mind. So they get the scepter in the opening of the movies. They're going to get the scepter, Loki's scepter that was taken by S.H.I.E.L.D. And Tony says him and Bruce are going to study it. And he figures out that it can create a really powerful AI, and then it's like, the Ultron program. And Bruce is like, the Ultron program? But that was just, it was just an idea. And Tony's like, no, it can work now. We can protect the world with, an AI that'll save the world, He just starts spouting this off like Kevin Green talked about it before, but they never talked about it with us, so we don't know anything about it. And it just sort of exists, and then he creates it. I was really positive there's just gonna be a line, just a little moment where he's like, you mean that, like, for Banner's like, you mean those old designs you found, like, when you, like, looked through Pym Industries? Like, Hank Pym's all retired, and old and out of business practically, like, almost. Like, he's being bought out, but, like, those designs you found of him for, like, a protective robot, an AI, we weren't able to finish that. And Tony's like, now we can. Like, that would have made sense to me. Like, there were designs that Hank Pym thought of and never was able to build, and Tony found them and wanted to build them, couldn't finish it. gets the scepter, which turns out to be the Mind Stone, which we all sort of predicted. Yeah. And then that would be that. No, he just sort of came up with this idea. I don't. Not that it doesn't make sense for Tony to come up with it on his own. It's surprising, and you rush it. It's just hard to buy. It's weird, and it creates the problem of this movie. Tony Stark is consistently a jackass. I hadn't thought about this, because I'm blind to it, because I know they're setting up Civil War, and I know where it's leading. I won't spoil anything that I have predictions for outside of Age of Ultron, because that's just getting mean. But, I mean, it's public knowledge, Civil War, Tony versus Steve, they've shown that now. And that's just sort of a known thing. But Tony in this movie is a jerk, and he pulls ideas out of nowhere and then does things without asking people, and then gets angry when they yell at him. It's forced. The Steve-Tony conflict has to be real. It has to be authentic. Their conflict feels artificial in this movie, which is funny because it's about AI, but it's that fun. Their conflict is about morality. And again, I was positive something else is going to come into play that I skipped over. The fact that they bring up very casually at the beginning of the movie and just toss it aside the idea of enhanced people, or people with superpowers. So they can't call Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch mutants. They can't be mutants, so they're enhanced people, because they're genetic experiments now, because they can't do mutants in the cinematic universe. They should have just not done them. They wanted to. So now they're enhanced people, which has been explained in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but not in any of the movies. So people who don't know anything about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're like, huh? How did... And then they say that powers come from the Mind Stone? So they're not Inhumans? I don't understand. Even I don't get it. We thought they were setting up their mutant solution with the Inhumans, and it's just not brought up in this movie. It comes out of nowhere, and it's weird. And you're positive, if you know anything about Civil War, that this is going to be a sticking point with Steve and Tony. That Tony's going to be like, you can't just let random people have superpowers running around, and Steve's going to be like, they have freedom. You want to lock me up? Like, I deserve freedom, so do they. We're all just people who've been experimented on and given powers. That never comes up. It's like, okay. Oh, this is me complaining. I liked this movie, but I have a lot of complaints. What else? So, they see over Ultron. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver make me sad, just because they didn't do them very great. I should not like the Quicksilver from Days of Future Past better, and I kind of do. Not really, but I kind of do. I shouldn't. But you could have done better. You did not treat them the way I wanted you to, and it was weird. God, what else? What's going on in the movie in my head? I was worried that they were going to have Barton, Hawkeye, betray the team, and then it turns out he was talking to his wife. Good. I like that. Black Widow Banner. So Natasha, Bruce Banner romance. I like it. What did it add to this movie? I don't think it added a lot. I'm just saying. Like, yeah, Natasha's a smoke show. And, you know, Mark Ruffalo's an attractive guy, too. It's like, yeah, it's an interesting pairing. I will grant you that. It was interesting. It was unique. It felt kind of cool. I liked the dialogue. What did it add to the movie? I don't know. I can't tell you. It added time to the movie. They have one scene together where they talk about maybe running off together, and they try to do it a second time, and it didn't add anything. It doesn't go anywhere. I mean, okay, it does go somewhere, but I don't know. I'll tell you what they did do right. I really like the Vision. I mean, we knew because they, you know, it was the same voice actor that Jarvis was going to become the Vision. So when they get the body, I was like, oh, they're going to put Jarvis into it. Cool. So that worked. I liked that. The Vision's just a good character. When he picked up Mjolnir, everyone freaked out. That was awesome. I'm guessing that's going to have something to do with the lightning. Like, because part of Thor made him, he is worthy. That's what I'm going to guess. That will be my theory. Or maybe he's just worthy because he's pure. I don't know what the intention was, but anyway, it works out well, and it was clever. I liked it. Cool. And that gives us good fodder for when Thor comes back. Because he leaves at the end of the movie. For him and Vision to do more silly things with trading the hammer back and forth. Excuse me.
Dude.
I like that a lot. Now, let's talk about Ultron himself. He's a good villain. I think he's too funny. That's all I have to say about that. I like all of his jokes. I wasn't ever like, oh, come on. Like, no, they're all funny. Like, he is funny. I don't think he should be that funny. He's too likable. Like, it's the Loki problem. People are gonna like him too much. With Loki, he's at least an anti-hero. Well, no, I'm joking. He's not an anti-hero. He's a villain. But with Loki, I don't know. You know what I mean with Loki. With Loki, it's questionable. At least Loki does fluctuate back and forth. Loki is, historically, mythologically, on the cusp of good and evil all the time. Ultron is evil. Ultron's the villain undisputably. He lives and dies over the course of one movie. He's a villain. But he's too damn likable. The guy is too funny. It's hard to root for him to die because he's funny. That's just, you can't, it's a basic thing. Like, that is a problem you can have. It is not an unknown problem. It's not a secret problem. Don't do that. Don't make them too likable. Then we don't want them to lose, and the movie is weakened as a result. He's too damn funny for his own damn good. But he is funny. I like the writing. James Spader. No, James Spader. Maybe James Spader. That sounds wrong. Maybe it's not. No, yeah, James Spader. Did a great job. But he's too funny. What else? Kids, we had to tell my shirt. Captain America's my favorite Avenger. He got good action in this movie, and he acted the leader, which I liked. I feel like they're portraying him as kind of like the jerk, the no fun kind of character, especially in regards to Tony's whole like, I tried this thing and now you're yelling at it. It was weird. I didn't like the way he was played in this movie. I think that I think Winter Soldier got his characterization better than anything. And this movie just, I can tell he's not one of Joss's favorite characters. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be off, but the way I read these movies, he's not one of Joss's favorite characters. he views them kind of straight-laced and kind of straightforwardly. And I think that's missing the point. Like, even First Avenger, but especially Age of Ultron, they really got, or, First Avenger and Winter Soldier, sorry. First Avenger and Winter Soldier really got Captain America and made him likable. This movie doesn't all that much. It does, but it doesn't. I don't know. I'm going to be critical about the portrayal of him, because he's my favorite Avenger in these movies. And I feel like you can't focus on everyone. Tasha and Banner got focus because of their romance. Thor got some focus because of what thing that happened, and he had to be the one to figure out Infinity Stones. Tony got focus because he made Ultron. Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Vision got focus because they're the new characters. So Steve's the odd man out. Hawkeye gets focused, we learn about his backstory finally, and I like it. Steve's the odd man out. Someone has to be odd man out, I guess. The first movie was kind of Hawkeye, now it's kind of Steve. They tried. It's sad because he's my favorite, and I'm the one who kind of got gypped, but, you know, I like him. He was fine. I don't dislike anything they did. He acted in character. He just wasn't given a lot of interesting stuff to do. His place didn't make... But, you know, I guess it's all building up to Civil War. Civil War will be worth it. So, I'll just look forward to next year. Okay, what else? Thing I didn't like. Thor. I liked Thor. It's one thing. The scene where he goes with Eric Selvig, and he goes, I'm actually gonna look online right now. I didn't catch what they were talking about. There was just too much talking in the theater. I'm gonna see if I can figure this out. Give me a second. Go to Parts Consult. Okay, it's not telling me. It is frustrating. So Thorne and yeah, and Selvig all run off. To these pools that are reflections of the universe to let Thor see into his vision from before. I don't know what that was, and they pulled it out their ass, and it made no goddamn sense. I'm just saying. They needed a reason for him to learn about the Infinity Stone, so we can get a diatribe about the Infinity Stones, so that the audience who haven't been keeping up realize, like, hey, we got 4 Infinity Stones now. That's one of them. So, and I like that they explained it in detail again for anyone who didn't see Guardians, or who hasn't been keeping up. They're like, hey, there's 4 of them, here's what they are. Yikes. But Vision's got the Mind Stone now, so that's cool. Yeah, I just didn't like that scene. It's weird. But I think it's building to Thor Ragnarok, because obviously he sees... It makes sense to me why he's able to jump in his vision to that. But I don't know what that pool is and where it came from. It didn't make any sense. But yeah. That's obviously setting up for Thor Ragnarok because Loki's in Asgard and everyone's going to die. Because he gave the Infinity Gauntlet to Thanos, as we saw in the end credit sequence. So, the elephant in the room. For anyone who's seen it, for anyone who's seen it and is wondering why I haven't brought this up yet, I was shocked they killed Quicksilver. Like, that was a weird choice. I predicted wrongly that they were going to kill Rhodey. I'm glad they didn't. But Quicksilver's death felt forced. Coulson dying in Avengers 1 made sense. Quicksilver's death here didn't make any sense. I'm gonna say it. Joss Whedon was killing someone to kill someone. Which he does. He's known for doing that. There's always a purpose. In Serenity, he kills Shepherd Book, to make you think, okay, this got real. And then he kills Wash because he wants you to go into the ending not knowing who will make it out alive, because they killed Wash. Avengers, they kill Coulson, like, you know, this was never going to work unless they had someone to avenge. Like, that. It was just a setup for that. So it made sense. It works. I don't know why he killed Quicksilver. The only payoff you get is a scene with Scarlet Witch ripping out the one Ultron body's heart. And then Vision saves her, and it doesn't matter. It lets him plummet the island because she leaves her post, but then it doesn't matter. They save everyone, and the island doesn't destroy anything. I don't know why they killed him. I don't disapprove. I like character death when it's done properly. But, it was a waste. It was a waste of a character. And I liked the guy playing Quicksilver a little bit more than I liked the girl playing Scarlet Witch. I think he got the Quicksilver. Quicksilver makes jokes. Quicksilver's funny. Wanda just got the whole, I'm sad all the time. One of them's more interesting than the other. So one of them's easier to play properly than the other. So I don't think that Quicksilver dying was the smartest thing. It wasn't the worst thing. It wasn't the smartest thing, though. They were really teasing Black Widow dying, and she didn't. I still think it would have made sense for Rhodey to die. That would have explained Tony going crazy. But he didn't. I like the ending. We see that Stark's retired, Thor's going to Asgard, Hulk runs off on his own. Like, Hulk runs off on, not Bruce Banner, Hulk. I liked that. They're building up this idea that Hulk doesn't like Banner, which I think is true to the comics. In the comics, Hulk becomes his own person. It's like, I don't want to go back to being Banner. Like, he's not a mindless monster. He's not out of control. He's just another person. And he is the point where he's like, when I go back to Banner, I don't get to be me anymore. Like, it's actually a struggle for who's in control. And then you get Steve and Natasha training Rhodey, Falcon, Sam Wilson, Wanda, and Vision as their new recruits for their new Avengers team. I like that. I was expecting them to hint at more recruits for future movies, but they didn't want to do that. Obviously, they don't want to set themselves up those movies don't come out or don't do well or whatever. I don't know. I was expecting a setup for Ant-Man, because that's coming out and people need to go see it. They didn't set it up at all, and I'm surprised. Well, it's set up for Captain Marvel, because people probably aren't going to go see that, because people are stupid. I'm expecting it set up for Black Panther, which is set up, but not directly. That's what Civil War is going to do. Hopefully Civil War covers a lot of these things that I want to happen. A lot of these setups. We're going to get Spider-Man, supposedly. We're going to see Black Panther. Maybe we'll get set up for people like Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange. Only time will tell. But I guess... what else? I think that's the big thing. I liked learning that Hawkeye was married. That was fun. I think I mentioned that already. What else? a lot of action scenes. It goes by so quickly. Like, you have Ultron explain quickly, he switches bodies quickly, he does things, he just moves and moves and moves and moves and moves. This movie is too fast. I can keep up with it. I don't know if everyone else can. I mean, I'm not trying to talk down to a lot of people. A lot of people can keep up with this movie. A lot of people won't, though. And I feel like the Avengers should be that one movie that every casual moviegoer can watch. That's what it should serve the purpose for. Other people are acting like that. They're like, I want it to be complicated. I want, like, it to not appeal to the lowest common denominator. I'm like, well, everyone needs heroes. Everyone needs movies, even if they're not film buffs who can keep up with really fast-paced movies. I don't know. It's a very specific complaint, but it's my complaint. All in all, I did like this film. It's good. I had fun watching it. There's good dialogue, and the acting is impeccable. But I feel like a few skips were missed. A few steps didn't quite go as they should have. I walk away feeling disappointed. It could never have lived up to the hype, I guess. That's kind of sad. I thought it would. I thought it would live up to the hype. I was, you know, that's what hype is. I was right, like, this is gonna be that good. It's gonna be this amazing successor. It was good. It wasn't quite that good. See, the Avengers had the lucky chance. We weren't sure if it could work. We knew it was gonna be good, but we weren't sure if it was gonna work. And then it worked. And so we were amazed, and that's why we remember it finally. We're like, I'm so glad that movie worked. And then Age of Ultron had to be, I'm so glad we can follow it up and make more of these. And they didn't fill me with that confidence. It's a lot of stuff going on in that film. I need to rewatch it, quite frankly. We'll see when that happens. When I learn more. Get a few more ideas. After credits. Also, the after credit sequences were disappointing. Like, Thanos is the Infinity Gauntlet now. Okay, well, cool. That's it. It's kind of like, there could have been more. But there wasn't. I guess I like the new Avengers team. It's pretty diverse. We've got 3 dudes, 2 girls, and a robot. You could say 4 dudes if you want to count Vision as a dude. So 4 dudes and 2 girls, 2 black guys, and 1 robot dude, and 1 white dude. So, yeah. 2 white girls. There should be a black girl. Captain Marvel probably won't be black. That sucks. But whatever. I don't know how they're setting up Civil War now. I'm actually confused. This movie needed to set up Civil War. We've seen Tony and Steve complain, but Steve kind of walked away from this like, Tony, I like you. And Tony's like, sure. They're making Tony into the bad guy, which isn't how Civil War should be played. It's supposed to be a double-sided issue. I don't know. I think that's all I got, so I'm just going to start going back over myself. Thank you for watching this rambly 40-minute video. Go see Age of Ultron. It is a good movie. I'd like to hear if I'm the only one with these complaints. It's late and I should go to bed. I've seen some other people posting longer videos that are spoilers as well. I'm curious to see how other comic book people feel. So yeah, comment, actually, if you have something to say. Especially if you disagree with me. I'd like to hear if I'm being too harsh. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.